This apartment complex here on Eglinton Avenue West is roughly 100 years old and home to about 200 tenants. Many say with this recent cold stretch that we've been having, it's been a daily challenge not having consistent heating. Jill Naftalin has lived in the apartment complex for 17 years. She says since October 31st, the building has had issues with its boiler.
We were experiencing lots of challenges with our radiated heat. We were eventually, after many complaints to our landlord, informed that there were issues with our boiler as it was old and needed to be replaced.
Naftalin says building management provided tenants with electric heaters and a $200 rebate on rent, but says it didn't suffice once the temperatures dropped.
There were instances where it was well below the 20 degree Celsius that is the ruling. It ended up at times 16 degrees.
Resident Rosa Melindo has lived here 34 years and has also reached out to management. She says after a tenant complaint, the city evaluated the building and issued an emergency order for a new boiler to be put in, stating it was a hazard to the building.
They were told, if you don't get a boiler system, if you don't get a good heating system here, within 30 days, we will start fining you. And they didn't get it within that time period, so they started to get fined.
The tenants say 1 week after the order was issued, a new boiler was installed. However, roughly 3 weeks ago, the new boiler also broke, leaving residents without heat once again.
It's unsafe for children. We have elderly neighbors. I have a neighbor who has, an amputated leg that needs a lot of care that, can't manage that on his own. The psychological stress, though, and having to cancel so much work. Having two heaters now, my hydro bill's going from about $92 a month to about $260 a month.
The tenants also say plugging in multiple electric heaters poses as a fire hazard.
With too many fuses on certain lines, your fuses will blow. So we've all been blowing anywhere between 10 to 2 dozen fuses on the regular, and even the fuses that we were initially provided were not the right size, which can cause risk of fire.
And we did receive a response from the city right before broadcast that confirmed they have received multiple low heat complaints since October. The city also confirming that the emergency order was issued on November 28th. However, they did say on December 20th that heat had been restored and the order had been issued closed. However, since January 1st, the city has received an additional 7 complaints, some of which are still under investigation. We also reached out to building management for comment, but those attempts went unanswered.